Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game. So we have Efim Bogoljubov with the white pieces and his opponent was Rudolf Spielmann, the final romantic of chess. So Bogoljubov played 2 World Chess Championship matches against Alexander Alekhine. Both of these chess players were one of the leading chess players at the time in the early 20th century. So this chess game was played in 1919 in Stockholm, Sweden. A must-see, an amazing, a very beautiful attacking chess game. So Bogoljubov starts the game with e4. We have e6, the French defense, and then d5. So knight to c3, knight to f6, bishop to g5, bishop to e7, and here comes by far the most common move, pushing the pawn e5, sending the knight back to d7, and black is preparing to play the typical French move c5. And then here comes, maybe bishop takes bishop is expected, but Bogoljubov played h4, exclamation point, pawn sacrifice for the aggressive development, and lifting the rook is also white's idea in this position, and this is known as Alekhine-Chatard, Alekhine-Chatard. So risky but effective, and Alexander Alekhine played a very famous, very beautiful chess game with this opening, sacrificing a pawn. So this is what happened, accepting the pawn sacrifice, queen takes on g5, and Spielmann is a pawn up. So knight to h3, queen to e7, and queen to g4, and white has now a very good activity. White has very good activity of his pieces for a sacrificed pawn. So g6 defending, knight to f6, a6, and then white castled from the queen side, c5 as expected, the French move. So queen to g3, exclamation point, and we have knight to b6. Now I said exclamation point because white is threatening something, and Spielmann saw what was about to happen, and he saw the threat, and he played knight to b6. So let's see what was the threat. Let's play a random move. Now Bogoljubov was hoping to sacrifice his knight, and then knight takes, defending the queen, and then pushing the pawn and liberating the queen and supporting on c7, forking the king and the rook, and white is winning. So queen to g3, a sneaky threat by Bogoljubov. So knight to b6, defending with the knight, and then d takes on c5, queen takes on c5, developing the bishop, bishop to d3, one another sneaky threat, a sneaky attacking idea by Bogoljubov, and Spielmann once again saw the threat, and he goes back, retreating and hitting the break. So in here, what was the threat? Again, if developing the knight a normal looking move, then bishop takes was white's idea. The h-file is open, so using this open h-file, and then knight takes on g6, and the h-pawn is pinned. So if capturing, then rook takes rook, so rook to g8, rook takes on h7, and white has a very strong attacking position despite being a piece down, and black is lacking behind in the development. So okay, bishop to d3, it looks harmless, isn't it? So queen goes back for the defense, and then here comes one another amazing move by Bogoljubov. Look at this, he sacrificed his bishop, bishop to e4, at least he is offering, and the offer was accepted, d takes on e4. So if some random move, he was going to sacrifice the bishop anyway. So capturing the bishop, but knight takes, and this is a very strong attacking position. The king is in the center, wide open, and the file is open, and white has a dream attacking position. Even though white is a piece down, white is winning in here. So capturing the bishop, but then knight takes on e4. The file is open again, the king is in the center, and the knight is looking some of the key squares such as f6 and d6, and this is a dream attacking position for white. And not just that, but Bogoljubov is threatening checkmate in 2 moves. So developing the knight, but let's play a random move again. What was the threat? So knight check, only move, and then queen to a3 is checkmate. Look at this checkmate, brutal. So defending that with the knight, but black has a crumpy position, isn't it? So queen to c3, this is a crumpy position for black. So queen to e7, black wants to castle, but Bogoljubov says no. Knight to f6, knight takes knight, pawn takes knight. And where is the queen going? Seriously, this is the only safe spot for the queen, but this prevents black's castling rights. Maybe Spielmann was a little bit too optimistic in here, as he continued to play in the lost position, with his romantic soul. So he was, as we know, the final romantic of chess. He played in the style of romantic chess and he was very successful, but not against Bogoljubov in this chess game. Surviving this position is very difficult. So maybe he was a little bit too optimistic. Queen to c7 and Bogoljubov is threatening checkmate. He is a piece down, but he has the better position. He has the attack. Knight to d7, defending. So if bishop to d7, we can take the knight. Knight is hanging. So white is threatening checkmate. Queen to d8 or rook to d8. So blocking. And then here comes another exclamation point by Bogoljubov. Knight to d5, sacrificing the knight. And knight to e7 would be a very powerful attacking move. And where is the bishop going? So knight to d7 is just all over for black. So capturing the knight, but this opens up the file and Bogoljubov sacrificed 2 pieces for the attack. And this was the art of the attack at chess. So this is check, only defense, rook takes. And only defense or defending with the queen, but that doesn't make any sense. So bishop to e6, and in here white played an amazing move. Now rook takes comes to mind. Maybe this bishop is pinned, so if rook takes on d5, how do you defend the checkmate threat on d7? So the bishop is pinned, queen to d7 is going to be checkmate. But here comes a perfect, quiet, winning move. King to b1, very accurate chess. So let's see what would have happened had he not played this very important prophylactic move, king to b1. So let's say if capturing the pawn and white is threatening checkmate on d7, queen to d7 is going to be checkmate. But then black has this very annoying check. So this is check, and if something like king to d1, black can castle, because this is going to open the king and black is ready to castle in here. So if something like king to b1, then queen to h1 is going to be checkmate in few moves. So rook goes back, queen takes rook, rook to d1, queen takes rook, and king was on b1, as you know, and that would be checkmate. So if rook to d2, black can still castle. So you can see that this would be a surviving opportunity for black, but Bogoljubov played this perfect, quiet, winning move. King to b1, and there is no queen check right now. So defending the d-pawn, because white was basically threatening to capture on d5, and how to defend after rook takes on d5. Queen to d7 is going to be checkmate. This bishop is pinned, so defending with the rook, but now white has a very nice winning combination that wins by force, as it limits black's potential replies. So did you see the move? Did you see the combination in here for white? Okay, rook takes on d5 and threatening checkmate. So what else? Rook takes is the only defense, and then here comes, did you see the move again? Rook takes rook, of course, and this is deflecting the bishop. Bishop takes rook and deflecting the defender of c8, and then here comes queen to c8, checkmate, an attacking masterpiece by Efim Bogoljubov. What a beautiful chess game, and black can't escape also because of this f-pawn. So from beginning to the end, Bogoljubov had the control, he had the upper hand, he was in the driver's seat from beginning to the end. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time with more instructive, beautiful chess games. Take care and bye bye.